There's one emotion that, when triggered in a woman, changes everything. It goes beyond attraction, beyond infatuation. It builds something real, something lasting. If you've ever asked yourself why some men effortlessly create deep connections while others constantly chase without results, this is the truth. She doesn't fall for what you give her. She falls for how you make her feel. And when you unlock this emotion, she's yours, forever. A woman needs to feel safe before she can ever truly open up. Not just physically safe, but emotionally and mentally secure in your presence. This is where so many people get it wrong. They think if they provide, if they protect from the outside world, that's enough. But for a woman, safety starts on the inside. It's how you make her feel in the quiet moments, in the middle of conversations, in how you react when she shares her truth. It's about whether she feels she can show you her rawness without it being used against her later. Safety to her is knowing she can tell you her fears and you won't laugh, that she can cry and you won't pull away, that she can disagree with you and it won't turn into war. You see, women are constantly navigating a world that tells them to be strong but not too strong, soft but not too emotional. And when she comes to you, she's not looking for a battlefield, she's looking for a refuge. When she finds a man who doesn't weaponize her vulnerability, that man becomes unforgettable. She lets down her guard, she stops performing, she starts being real. You may not realize this, but some of the most intimate moments in a relationship aren't sexual. They're emotional. They happen when she's able to tell you what scares her, what hurt her in the past, what she dreams about at 2 a.m., and your job in those moments isn't to fix it or analyze it. It's simply to be there. Fully present, not with your phone in your hand, not waiting for your turn to speak, but there, listening, holding space, because when a woman feels emotionally safe, she starts to trust you with the parts of her that no one else gets to see. She watches your tone, she listens to your silence, she feels your energy. She's noticing whether you talk over her when she's trying to express herself or whether you pause to understand. She sees whether you're quick to anger or quick to listen. And in those tiny, seemingly insignificant moments, she's deciding whether her heart can rest with you, whether she can exhale, whether she can stop pretending to be strong and just be. Safety is in how you speak to her during conflict. Do you dismiss her, mock her feelings, get defensive? Or do you show her that disagreements don't have to mean disconnection, that her emotions aren't too much, and that you won't shut her out just because she's upset? If you want to go deep with a woman, you have to make her feel like you won't punish her for being human. Because a woman who feels emotionally safe with you is a woman who will begin to love you in a way you've never known most people look, but very few see asterisk. And this is where the connection either deepens or dies. A woman doesn't want to be admired from the surface. She wants to be understood at the core. To feel truly seen is to feel known, not for what she presents to the world, but for who she is when no one's watching. And that kind of seeing doesn't happen through compliments or charm. It happens through presence, awareness, and intention. When you can recognize the difference between her "I'm fine" and her "I'm actually okay," you're tapping into a level of emotional intelligence that most men never reach. She notices when your eyes drift while she's speaking. She senses when your attention isn't really there, and you might think you're doing everything right, showing up, saying the right things. But if she doesn't feel that you see her, you'll always feel that distance. Because seeing her means paying attention to more than just her words. It's noticing her body language when she walks into a room. It's hearing the shift in her tone when she talks about something that matters to her. It's recognizing the stories behind her silence and the meaning in her laughter. When she's passionate about something, do you ask questions? Do you lean in and get curious? Or do you nod and move on? When she's quiet, do you give her space and still make her feel close? Or do you retreat? Seeing her means knowing what energizes her and what drains her. It's about seeing beyond the labels and expectations and choosing to study her like a language worth learning. Because she is a language, her patterns, her moods, her expressions, they all speak volumes if you're paying attention. A woman wants to be seen in her strength and in her softness. She wants to be admired for her intelligence, her resilience, her hustle. But she also wants you to see the little girl in her who still needs reassurance, who still fears rejection, who still wonders if she's enough. Seeing her means acknowledging all the layers, not just the parts that are convenient or appealing to you. It's about embracing her complexity without trying to simplify her. You can't fake this. She'll feel it immediately. The difference between a man who sees her as an extension of his own needs versus a man who genuinely wants to understand her heart is everything asterisk. She'll be more drawn to the man who remembers the details, the book she said changed her life, the song that reminds her of her childhood, the look she gives when she's holding back tears, than the one who throws expensive gestures without depth. Because when you truly see her, you give her the freedom to stop performing and just be. And that level of emotional intimacy is rare, but once it's there, it rewrites everything. Respect isn't just about how you treat her in public, it's about how you treat her in the smallest, most personal spaces of your relationship. And one of the deepest forms of respect a woman craves is when you honor her boundaries and her voice, not just hearing her, but actually listening, not just agreeing to keep the peace, but truly valuing what she says. A woman can tell the difference between a man who listens to respond and one who listens to understand. When you interrupt her, dismiss her feelings, or make decisions without her input, you're not just disrespecting her. You're slowly erasing her from the connection you claim to value. Respecting her voice means acknowledging that she has a perspective that matters, that her opinions aren't just tolerated, but appreciated, that when she speaks up, you don't roll your eyes or say she's being emotional. You lean in, you try to understand. Too many women have been told to stay quiet, to not make things difficult, to accept what they are given, but the moment a woman realizes she can use her voice with you and not be punished for it, that's when her trust starts to deepen. Because it's not just about what you say, it's how you react when she says something uncomfortable, honest, or challenging. And then there are her boundaries, emotional, physical, spiritual. Every woman has them, whether she speaks them openly or not. And how you respond to those boundaries speaks volumes about your character. When she says no, do you back off with maturity, or do you try to manipulate her into a yes? When she tells you she needs space, do you guilt trip her, or do you give her room to breathe and still reassure her you're there? Boundaries are not walls to break through. They are bridges to build trust. And when you respect them, you're telling her, I value you as a whole person, not just someone here to fulfill my needs. It's in how you respect her time, her dreams, her energy. Do you show up late, cancel plans, make everything about you? Or do you treat her time as sacred, something worth protecting and honoring? Women don't forget how they felt around you. If she feels dismissed, controlled, or silenced, her spirit will slowly detach from you even if her body stays. But if she feels respected, if she feels that her thoughts, her emotions, her choices matter, that's when she gives you the best of herself without holding back. You don't have to agree with everything she says. Respect isn't about blind obedience. It's about creating space for disagreement without domination. It's about allowing her to have a voice without making her feel like she's in competition. Because when a woman can express herself freely, when she knows her no is safe with you and her yes isn't being coerced, when she knows her truth won't be turned against her later in an argument, that's when she finally breathes around you without fear. Laughter might seem like a light, simple thing, but for a woman, it's one of the most powerful emotional connectors. Life is heavy, and she carries more than she lets on. Pressure from work, family expectations, societal demands, past pain, and future worries. So when she finds someone who gives her a reason to laugh, someone who brings a sense of ease into her life, that person instantly becomes different. You don't need to be a comedian. It's not about cracking jokes all day. It's about your energy, your lightness, your ability to shift the atmosphere when it feels tense or heavy. Laughter is healing. It's a form of release, a sign of safety, and a doorway to trust. When she can be silly around you, when she doesn't have to filter herself or constantly walk on eggshells, she lets go. She takes off the layers she wears for the world and reveals the version of herself that's playful, warm, and full of life. That version doesn't come out for just anyone. It only shows up where she feels emotionally free, and freedom, for her, starts with how light she feels in your presence. Are you a burden, or are you a breath of fresh air? There's a joy that comes from being around someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. A man who can laugh at himself, who can make her laugh at life's chaos, who knows how to flip a bad day into something bearable. He's not just good company, he's necessary. Because sometimes she doesn't need deep conversations or intense connection. Sometimes she just needs to exhale, and if she finds that with you, she'll associate your presence with peace, with joy, with emotional relief, and that is far more intimate than people realize. Laughter also breaks down walls. If she's guarded, if she's been hurt before, your ability to bring her joy disarms the fear she might be carrying. It tells her, even subconsciously, that you're not here to control her or use her. You're here to enjoy life with her, to create memories that feel light and unforced, and that's what she wants more than anything. Someone who reminds her that love doesn't have to be hard all the time. That connection doesn't have to come through pain, that she can be with someone who values her happiness just as much as her loyalty. When you share those moments of laughter, you're not just entertaining her, you're bonding with her. You're creating a shared emotional space where she can be unfiltered, and the beauty of that is it sticks. Women don't forget how you made them feel when they were at their most free, most alive, most unburdened. If she can laugh with you after a long day, if you can make her giggle when she's overthinking, if you can be the reason she smiles in the middle of chaos, then you've tapped into something no gift, no status, no strategy can compete with. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic promises. It's about the little things you do over and over again that make her feel emotionally secure. When a woman knows what to expect from you, not because you're predictable, but because you're reliable, her heart begins to settle. So many women live in emotional confusion, constantly trying to read between the lines, second, guessing how a man feels, trying to decode mixed signals. That constant guessing game is exhausting, and it drains the emotional energy that could be poured into building something meaningful. A man who is consistent communicates one powerful message: you can trust me, not just with your secrets or your body, but with your heart. And trust isn't built by showing up when things are easy. It's built by showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when there's no applause. If you say you're going to call. If you say you're going to show up. When your words align with your actions consistently, she stops questioning your intentions. She stops needing reassurance every 5 minutes. Not because she's suddenly become less emotional, but because she finally feels emotionally safe. You become her peace when your presence isn't a question mark. She doesn't have to wonder if you're going to disappear when life gets hard, or if your attention will shift the moment someone new walks by. She begins to relax into the rhythm of you, knowing that what you offer is steady and sincere. Women fall in love with how you make them feel, and few things feel better than the calm that consistency brings. It tells her she doesn't have to earn your love every day, that she doesn't have to perform or compete or chase. And no, consistency isn't always exciting. That's where a lot of men go wrong. They confuse emotional consistency with being boring. But the truth is, the most passionate, fulfilling relationships are built on the foundation of consistency. That daily check-in, the small acts of care, the regular emotional presence, those are the things that hold love together when the butterflies fade. She doesn't need fireworks every day. What she needs is to know that you're emotionally available and present, even on the days when nothing big is happening. She's watching your patterns, not just in how you treat her, but in how you move through life. Do you follow through on your own goals? Do you keep your word with yourself? Are you disciplined, not just with your time, but with your energy? Because your consistency with yourself directly affects how consistent you'll be with her. She wants to know that you're not just a man of emotions, but a man of integrity, someone whose feelings don't just speak, but act. When you become that, when your presence stops being a question and starts being a constant, you stop being an option in her life and start becoming a safe place. There's a quiet power in a woman who knows who she is. She's ambitious, passionate, emotional, intuitive, sometimes all at once, and when she walks into a room, she brings a presence with her. But far too often, the world tells her to tone it down, be a little quieter, be a little less, don't be intimidating, and so she learns to shrink herself to keep the peace, to protect the fragile egos around her, but deep down, what she really wants is someone who sees her power and doesn't flinch. A man who doesn't feel threatened by her confidence, her voice, or her success, but is inspired by it. Celebrating her power doesn't mean idolizing her. It means honoring all the parts of her that make her who she is, the soft, the strong, the bold, the uncertain. It's understanding that her drive isn't about control, it's about purpose, that her independence isn't a wall, it's a form of self-respect, that her standards aren't impossible, they're the result of a life spent learning what she will no longer settle for. When you stand beside her, not in front of her, not behind her, but beside her, you become something rare in her world, an emotional equal, not a competitor. Too many men try to dim a woman's light just so theirs can shine a little brighter. They confuse leadership with control, but a real man, a mature man, knows that her light doesn't take away from his. It amplifies it. He's not looking to outshine her. He's looking to rise with her . And in doing so, he creates a dynamic of partnership, not power struggle. She doesn't need to be put in her place. She already knows her place. It's right next to someone who gets it. Someone who doesn't see her as too much, but sees her as just right. When you celebrate her strength, you give her the freedom to rest in her softness, because now she doesn't have to constantly be in defense mode. She doesn't have to fight to be heard, prove her worth, or carry everything on her own. She gets to be in a relationship where she can lead when it's her turn and trust you to lead when it's yours. That's not imbalance, that's emotional maturity, that's the kind of love that builds legacies. Let her speak, let her dream, let her shine, support her, challenge her, honor her, and remind her that her greatness doesn't scare you. It inspires you. Because when a woman feels celebrated in her full power, not just tolerated in it, she will love you with a depth and devotion that most only dream of. And the truth is, when you become the man who fuels her fire instead of trying to put it out, she won't just choose you, she'll never stop choosing you, every single day. In the end, it's not money, looks, or status that makes her stay, it's the emotion you awaken inside her. Make her feel safe, seen, respected, make her laugh, make her trust, and most of all make her feel powerful in your presence. Because when a woman feels all that in your energy, she doesn't just fall in love, she builds with you. And when she builds with you, she's not going anywhere. Trigger this emotion, and she's yours forever.